Meet Ray Pate, an average fast food worker who lives in Rosewood, Kentucky. Can I go from a low-end job to a survivor in the apocalypse? Comment down below how many days you think I can survive, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Upon starting in my starter house, I started closing the curtains so I wouldn't end up how I did in the last video. I armed myself with a kitchen knife, then went upstairs where I found a hammer. Now we just need a saw to start leveling up carpentry, and after grabbing some vitamins, I ventured into the fog. We were lucky and had a car in the driveway ready to drive when we needed it. After killing 2 zombies, I got into the garage where I found some crafting items and tools, including a saw. I decided to go to the neighbor's house to loot, where I grabbed some curtains and other supplies for the base, then returned back home to place them. I then ventured back out to find a zombie that had a watch. This classic one will do for now. Realizing I missed life and living, I went back to the other house to finish looting. There wasn't much in there besides this box of books. I grabbed a couple I would need and returned back home to finish placing in the curtains. We ended up having enough for the rest of the windows, so I went back out to loot their garage. They had a car battery and a gas can. This would come in handy. I noticed a van across the street, so I went to go check it out. It was doing really good, but with no keys around, we would have to hotwire it. Did find a gun case in the glove compartment though. I returned back home where I had a cigarette, and then went out to find some gas for our car. I noticed a parking lot just down the street, but figured now was not the time. And while returning home, I noticed our neighbor's house was boarded up. This meant there was good loot inside. After putting the little gas we found into the car, I made some bacon and watched TV, preparing for what was about to happen. I wanted to clear out the neighbor's house and make it for my base. It was already boarded up a little bit, so that would save a lot of time. So I snuck in through the window and quickly realized this place was loaded. So many melee weapons, so many tools. I started putting up curtains to fortify my new base, then went upstairs where I found a hidden zombie, a hockey mask. There was also a bulletproof vest in there, and even more weapons. For the rest of the night, I went back and grabbed more curtains to put up, and tried to figure out how to make a rope down from this window. I couldn't figure that out yet, I figured out later though. I then heated up some food, and went to bed. The next morning I woke up to catch some life and living, and then moved everything useful from the old house to the new one. I then continued renovating by moving all of the dead bodies outside. I didn't want that smell to continue lingering inside the house. And once that was done, a zombie made its way over, which had a pistol and a speed loader inside their purse. And after all that, I figured we should take a break, so I read up on some Mechanics Volume 1 and watched our TV. Grabbing my bat and the gas can, I figured we were ready to go search the nearby cars. The first one wasn't too hot, nothing inside, and the mechanics weren't really too good. The second car actually had keys, but still didn't have any gas. There were a lot of zombies with suits around this house. After going in, I found a bunch of books along with some food. After accidentally going to our old house, I stored everything and then checked out the new neighbors. There wasn't much inside, so I went to go check out the garage. It also didn't have too much that we would need, so I went back to enjoy some ice cream. Our skills were starting to come together, but knowing I'll need protection in the future, I started to disassemble some of the furniture we wouldn't use, and added the planks to the windows. We would have been able to do the entire bottom floor, but we didn't have enough nails, so I went to bed. Upon awakening, we had a visitor at the front door. This fence would only last for so long, so I wanted to make a wall around the base. But first, we would need to finish boarding up the windows. Today I wanted to check out the church we had ran into the day prior, so I ventured over to have a look. Just what I thought. The church was filled with a bunch of pews we would be able to disassemble to get planks. There were a bunch of dead around, however, so I would need to keep quiet. I found a fanny pack with gun and ammo inside. I loaded it up just in case things got fishy. Overall, this place was mainly empty, and while returning home, my bat broke. I quickly ran inside to grab another weapon. That could have been bad. At this point, I noticed a zombie at her door had another gun on it. So far, we've only found pistols. I would want a shotgun to start leveling up my aiming skill a little easier. I relaxed until Life and Living was over, and then went to clear out the neighborhood. Saw a group of 3 zombies. Figuring that would be easy, I walked over. And then those 3 quickly multiplied. That was a close call. This fight wasn't really going well. I took some vitamins and cigarettes to try and clear out my noodles. And eventually, the horde was no more. After that intense battle, my adrenaline was pumping, so I chopped down some trees in our front yard. This will make it easier to see zombies when they come to the house, plus we would need the logs to start building the wall. I was a little tired by this point, so I decided to finish our Mechanics Volume 1 book. I put it in this quarter, which will be known as the Finished Book Corner. Yes, that was the best name I could think of. Now that that book was done, I started Electrician Volume 1 and then went to bed. I wanted to finish boarding up the windows today, so I returned to the church to dismantle the pews. A policeman was carrying a gun in a holster that I equipped. I was collecting digital watches to start taking them apart to level up my electronics. While I'm dismantling all of these, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. We're almost at 500 subscribers, which is absolutely crazy. Anyway, let's get back to the video. I returned home to place in the newly gathered planks. I had to take a couple of trips. I also had to take apart the other row of seats, and after all of that, we had 3 rows of planks on each window. I watched some TV, ate some food, cleaned myself off, and went to bed. The next morning, I started off with some morning shows. My stats are looking good. I smoked a cigarette and returned to grab the rest of the planks. With the windows completely covered now, I grabbed a sheet from the next door neighbor and finally made an escape route from my bedroom. I then continued reading electronics until it was finished and added it to the finished books corner. I figured we should go with tailoring next, so I started reading while we watched TV. It was finally time to start building the wall. I started breaking up some fence, then adding one in. We would need to chop down some more trees to continue. With my character getting tired, I spent a little more time reading and watching shows, and then continued reading until it was time to sleep. Upon awakening, I made my way to the trees across the street. After placing in a wall, I tried to use the car to make it easier, but it was just annoying, plus I didn't really want to waste the gas. I think you need a welding mask to take these fences apart, so I just made the wall out further. After building those, I started dismantling some watches. I finished the tailoring book while watching TV, and added it to the sacred finished books pile. We needed more space to place the walls, so I started taking apart some more of the white fences. We were getting a decent amount of planks from these. It would be good to make rain collectors for when the water turns off. We'd been doing a lot of building and I wanted to do something else, so I went over to the nearby corner store. Inside there was some food, meds, magazines, a bunch of cigarettes, a special kind of magazine. This place was kind of a maze. I'd made my way over to a barber shop and then got out. I learned the new recipes and then added them to the pile. I finished up the day by placing one more wall, and then I ate some food, cleaned myself off, and then passed out on the bed. The next day started quickly with a group of dead outside. After that, I started chopping down some trees. I got all the way to the fence again, so I had to dismantle more of it. Then it was back to chopping. I placed a couple more walls, then watched some TV, and read to clear my exhaustion. Then I went out to take on some zombies. I wanted to find a backpack to help make moving the logs a lot easier. We didn't find a backpack, but I did find another pistol. I checked out a nearby van, not too bad, and it had a bunch of seeds and farming supplies in the back. Great for our future survival. On my way home, we drew the attention of some dead. My hunting knife broke during the scuffle, and I returned home to deposit everything. And then the helicopter arrived. This would be the true test of our base. The wall wasn't finished yet, but hopefully the boards can hold up. I grabbed Mechanics Volume 1 and went into my bedroom just in case things went bad. After a little while, I heard a zombie knocking on something. I grabbed a baseball bat and went downstairs. I hadn't heard the helicopter in a while, so I went to clear out the zombies. It was almost day 7 and we had killed 52 zombies. Nice. It was a hectic day, so for the rest of the night I read up on some metalworking until time for bed. There was 4 hours until I officially survived a week. Because of that, I just read until Life and Living was over and then went to chop trees. I went until my axe broke and made a couple of walls. It was now officially day 7. After killing 56 zombies, we've come so far from a fast food worker before the apocalypse to an absolute unit of a survivor. If you would like to see more of Ray-Pate's story, like the video and comment down below. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing. My name's SS Samurai 7, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.